Hello everyone and welcome back to the MCFC Lads Podcast. It's episode 16 and we join you a couple of days after the Manchester derby. Alex, how are we feeling, mate?
Very, very good still. Cannot beat a derby day win, especially one as emphatic as that. Can't complain whatsoever. Big win and back to winning ways at last.
Yeah, unbelievable. Well, it leaves us on 6 points after 2 games in the Premier League. We're 8th in the league. Liverpool obviously on 12. Then Arsenal 9, Tottenham 9, Bournemouth 9. There's a lot of teams in there that we wouldn't expect to be there at the end of the season. I mean, looking at the table before about 10 games in my eyes, isn't really worth your time. Obviously, you can see some teams like Liverpool have had a good start. Arsenal a decent start, but, 6 points is not great from us. But the main thing is we've beaten Manchester United, who sit in 14th with 4 points after 4 games.
Yeah, exactly. We're ahead of Man United at last. It was a bit of a scam that they were ahead of us in the first place because they had only just beaten a crap Burnley team. But we are ahead of them now. We're back in the top half and we're only 3 points of Arsenal and we play them next week. So a win could take us above them, although obviously that's a big ask.
Yeah, well, obviously, as I mentioned in the vlog, if you've not watched the vlog and obviously the match reaction to the derby, make sure you go and check them out on YouTube. We're not going to talk too much about the actual derby game because we have already made that video. One thing I would touch on is obviously the sad death of Ricky Hatton, an absolute legend of Manchester City, boxing, England, sort of everything to do with this country is what he embodied. So, yeah, very sad news, and obviously our thoughts go out to his family and his friends. And it was a very sad start to Derby Day, Alex.
Yeah, very sad, but also very nice to see the tribute he got. Even during the game, he was getting plenty of one Ricky Hatton, which was great to hear. Danny Jackson, as we said in the review, did a great job with his speech. And yeah, it was nice to see everyone paying their respects in a good way, in a way that I'm sure he'd have liked. So yeah, very, very sad, but very good respects paid, I would say.
Yeah, very, very sad news. But like you said, a big 3-0 win. We did it obviously for Ricky. Phil Foden, Pep, both had tributes to him, talking about him in the post-match stuff. So that was nice to see. And the reaction to him generally on social media, in the news, in the general media as well, has been really nice. So, big up Ricky Hatton and RIP. So, Alex, elsewhere to the City United game, Liverpool left it very late against Burnley. That's like 4 last-minute winners they've had already this season. Crazy work. Brentford drew 2-2 with Chelsea. I don't think anyone really saw that coming. No. West Ham got battered by Tottenham. Bournemouth beat Brighton. Palace and Everton were both 0-0 against Sunderland and Villa. Leeds lost in the last minute to Fulham. That was a bit of a crazy own goal. Newcastle got a 1-0, fairly unconvincing win against Wolves. And Arsenal sort of destroyed Forest, as we kind of expected. Zubimendi was pretty good. Our Premier League predictions, Alex, it was a great week for both of us. It was 10-10. It was 10-10 on our little prediction league, which leaves you 31-30 up. It's very, very close after 4 game weeks. But, Alex, we do need to move our attention to the Champions League. Now, this is a competition, obviously, Man United aren't in. They're not in any form of European football. So
they're barely in any domestic competitions, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a long week for them. Now, it is a really weird one because City play on Thursday against Napoli. And it is a bit of a throwback to 2011-12, obviously, the opening game at home against Napoli. There's going to be a few, whatever the word is, back to that game, throwbacks, whatever you want to call it. It's not a nice first game. They are a pot 3 side, but we will be seeing KDB return home. We will be seeing Scott McTominay and Højlund back at the Etihad. Obviously, former Man United players. We'll talk about the actual Napoli game itself later on and do a prediction and line up and stuff for that. But generally, Alex, for the Champions League, we've got some predictions, haven't we?
We have. We've got our top 8, we've got our dark horse, top scorer, all of that. So we'll go for that now and we'll look at the end of the league phase, how we've done.
Right, Alex, I want you to start with your top 8, please, mate.
So my top 8, I've not done it in any particular order because I just don't think that's predictable. But the teams to come in the top 8, I've gone for Manchester City, as I'm sure you can imagine. I'm sure you'll be the same. Liverpool, Arsenal, Newcastle, Napoli, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich is my 8.
Okay, pretty standard. I've gone Real Madrid, Barcelona, City, Liverpool, PSG.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Napoli and Bayern Munich. So very similar. I've not got an Inter, I've not got a Juventus. We'll talk about some of them teams. I mean, we've both gone for pretty much what we went for last year, which is a standard kind of bigger teams. But I think generally the English teams will do well. The stronger teams in this tournament for me are the English teams. And I think because we can't face any of them in the group phase, I think that will be a huge advantage. Last year we were very, very poor. We were very, very poor. There's so many results that we didn't get. The Juve away game, the Feyenoord game, we were 3-0 up at home. Have you got any explanation for your kind of top 8, or do you want to move on from that, mate?
Yeah, so with the English teams, I think like you said, I've got most English teams going through. I've got Chelsea and Tottenham just to miss out on the top 8. I think Chelsea will be close. I think they play Napoli on the last match day, which will be very, very interesting. I've got a feeling that'll be a decider for which one of them gets in the top 8, but I think Napoli probably just edge it. Fixture-wise, I think City's fixtures aren't too bad. I think Napoli's a nasty pot 3 team. Madrid away is not very nice. Other than that, though, I think they're all pretty winnable games. I think going off last year, you need 16 points to get in the top 8, so that's 5 wins and a draw. Looking at some of the other teams, I've got PSG to miss out. They've got some hard fixtures, and I think they might start slowly again this season. Dembele's injured for a little while, so he'll miss the start, but I think their fixtures are very difficult. I see Newcastle getting in. I don't think you had Newcastle in your top 8, did you?
No.
Yeah, I think for them, their home record will just get them through. I think as well for them, what benefits them a lot is that they're a hard team to break down, and in Europe that will fare them very well. Similar to how Villa got in top 8 last year, I think Newcastle will be similar this year. But other than that, yeah, just the big teams to get through. City have got to improve, surely. But yeah, that's my top 8.
Nice. Well, yeah, the top 8. We'll move on from the top 8 just because it works. We were going to go for this a little bit later, but we'll just talk about each English side because we're not going to go through every single team. There's 36 in the competition. I'll just start off. I think we'll come on to more stuff about City, but I think City will do way better than last year. I don't see us winning, the whole group phase. Not that it really matters, but I think we'll be quite comfy in the top 8. I think we'll be getting sort of 17, 18, 19 points. Arsenal, I can see doing very similarly to last year, very similar to City. I think they're just a different kind of beast now. They've got a good team, they've got a bit more depth, and I think generally they've kind of got over that first season, second season in the Champions League, and I think they'll do pretty well. Chelsea, I think, will be a bit of a late entry, like you said. I think they'll be a bit of a late entry, but I think they've just about got enough to get in the top 8. Liverpool will do well. I don't actually think they're as good as the league table, the Premier League table reflects up to now.
No, definitely not.
I think last year was kind of the same for a period, and obviously if you win games, you win games, but I think they might come unstuck in a few games. I think they've got Real Madrid first game at home. That'll be a very tough one, big test for them. And generally, I've always said this about Liverpool, and I've always said this about big teams making big signings. When you sign so many big players and you spend so much money, sometimes for me it just doesn't come off. I might be proven wrong, but we've seen it before with PSG making these big Galactico signings. And I've been criticised loads of times and questioned about it. At the end of the day, you're signing one of the best young talents in the world in Florian Wirtz for nearly 150 million. You're signing one of the best strikers in English and world football in Alexander Isak for near enough the same amount. And that is a Galactico signing. You're signing pre-proven world-class players and you're trying to build effectively a super team. So for me, Liverpool have got to perform. There's a huge expectation around them, and I think they will do pretty well in Europe, but I don't think they'll maybe do as well as people think. Newcastle, I think, will just about miss out. I think they'll get maybe 14th, 15th. I think they'll have a similar record to what City had, to be honest, in the Champions League last season. And I do agree with your home record thing, but I don't think they are like that good. I don't think they're that good. Away from home, I think they'll be quite poor. And like you said, they were decent in that first campaign they had a few seasons ago, but they came fourth in the group. They had a few big statement performances. They didn't go on to actually get out of the group. So yeah, Tottenham won't get top 8, but I think they'll be very comfy in the next bit. What do you make of the English sides, mate?
Yeah, I think I agree with a lot of what you just said there. Tottenham, I think neither of us got them in the top 8. They've got a pretty easy selection of fixtures, so I think they will be alright. I think they'll definitely make the playoff rounds, and they'll probably be the top half of that playoff round bracket. I think they will just miss out. I think I agree as well with a lot of what you said about Liverpool. They've got quite a tricky set of fixtures. I think especially their away ones. They've got Inter away. That's well known. Inter a difficult team to break down. Obviously they've not got Inzaghi anymore, but it's still a difficult game. Home games, they've got both of the Madrid. Neither of them are easy. And in terms of the lower down teams away from home, Galatasaray is the pot 4 team. we've got them at home, but away from home, that's a difficult place to go. It's obviously a big atmosphere. Marseille and Frankfurt as well, traditionally quite difficult places to go on the basis that it's loud atmospheres. It's sort of, difficult places to go. So I think there's definitely a chance that they do slip out. I think, like you said, they've not started the season quite as well as the league table shows. They've scraped a lot of wins. I think they will edge into the top 8. I think they will win enough games, but I think it will be close for Liverpool. Like I said, with Arsenal, they're just so consistent at the moment. I think for me, they're probably the most guaranteed English team to go through. From memory, they've got quite an easy set of fixtures as well. So I'm sure they'll back themselves to go through fairly comfortably. City, our fixtures pretty reasonable, bar Real Madrid away. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. Napoli at home as well could be a bit of a difficult one. Chelsea, like I said, I think they'll just about miss out. But again, their fixtures are I think a lot of the teams, pretty much what I'm trying to say, have got pretty favourable fixtures when it comes to English sides. And I think a big reason for that is, like you said, we can't face each other, and that massively helps us out.
Yeah, we'll move on, obviously, from the English side. We talked quite a bit about them. I want your biggest flop team. Who's gonna stink the gaff out the most in the whole competition?
I assume we're going like the shock team, not just like
We don't want to go for
like
a Kaira or a Quarabag.
Yeah.
Let's go for a team that the biggest flop, like who that probably would have an expectation to do well, is not going to do well.
I don't think it's going to be a horrendous league phase campaign for them. But I think a lot of people would expect the European champions to qualify for the top 8, and I think they'll probably be sort of the lower half of the top bracket of the playoffs.
Okay.
So I think they'll be sort of 14th or so. I think they're obviously a great side, and I have no doubts that they probably will end up in the latter phase of the competition. But I think, especially in this league phase, I think PSG will start slow. I think the lack of Donnarumma last year, it saved them having Donnarumma this year, having Chevalier. He looks like he's got a few mistakes in him from watching the Super Cup. So I think that might be a bit of an issue for them, especially in the European Cup this year. I think it will be difficult to keep what they had going last year. So I think PSG are going to be the flops of the tournament.
You've gone PSG. I'm gonna go with Juve now. Like you said, no, I don't know how many people would put them in the top 8, but I could see them. Don't know why. I've just got a feeling about Juve. I'll throw it out there as a big flop. I could see them not making it into the top 24. I mean, they might do, but generally, I could see them just not doing very well. They have a big expectation as a big Italian side. They beat us last year. We obviously beat them in the Club World Cup, but I think Juve 10 years ago were a team everyone looked at as a really good side.
Yeah.
And I think nowadays you're looking at sort of an Inter Milan to kind of be that Italian powerhouse now. So I'm going to go with Juve as the flop. Moving on from that, top scorer.
Fair enough. Yeah, for me that one's pretty simple. I'm going to go straight up Erling Haaland. I see him scoring a lot of goals this tournament. As I said, we've got some pretty nice fixtures in there, ones that I'm sure he'll be licking his lips at, especially that trip to Bodo back home to Norway. He'll be used to the conditions there, and I'd be surprised if he doesn't bag in Norway. But Erling Haaland, top scorer for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go boring as well and say Erling Haaland. Outside of that, you could maybe look at an Mbappe. He started the season pretty well. Harry Kane always gets a lot of goals for Bayern Munich, but I think it's straightforward for me. It's Erling Haaland. The amount of chances he's going to be getting against some of these sides as well, like you said, his Champions League record is absolutely ridiculous for somebody of his age. It's a silly amount of goals he's got. He's competing with I think he cleared Luis Suarez years ago. Like it's ridiculous.
Just crazy.
It's ridiculous. So Erling Haaland for top scorer. Finally, Alex, a dark horse, mate. Who's your dark horse? I do want a real dark horse. I don't want a team many people predicting. Who are you going for?
I mean, they're two big teams, so maybe dark horse is a bit of an overstatement, but I'm between Napoli and Newcastle, but I think I'm going to edge it with Napoli. And I get they're the Italian champions, so it might seem a bit of a cop-out saying them as my dark horse, but they're a pot 3 team, so they're obviously not at the upper levels of European football. But they're a very, very solid team. Antonio Conte is traditionally a very, very hard coach to break down. I think that will suit them very well in Europe. I can see them doing similar to how Inter Milan have done in recent years. I think Napoli for me are the dark horses this year.
Well, I'm torn between one of City's opponents, Bodo Glimt, and Slavia
I did think about them.
Prague. Now, I don't know why. I've just got a feeling, and I might be horrifically wrong, but I'm going to go dark horse Slavia Prague. Why not? They might finish bottom. I might as well go bold with it. Let us know in the comments who is your dark horse for the Champions League. I'm not saying they're going to win it, by the way. I'm just saying they might do a bit better than people expect. outside of that, if you kind of elevate it to, your Newcastle take's not too bad. Club Bruges, I think, have been on the rise a little bit. But, that's my dark horse. We'll move on now, Alex, just for a quick... Obviously, City play Thursday, Arsenal play Tuesday. We then play Arsenal on Sunday, which doesn't seem very fair at all. We'll be bringing you another podcast ahead of that game on Friday, I believe. But, ahead of the Champions League, we're just going to predict result on these first round of fixtures. Alex, first up, we got Athletic Bilbao against Arsenal.
Yeah, got to back Arsenal to win that one.
Arsenal win for me, yeah, I agree. PSV against Union SG.
I'm going to go with a draw on that one, I think.
It's 5:45 first day. I'm going to go PSV, followed by a Real Madrid win over Marseille.
Yeah, definitely.
Juve Dortmund, I'll go with a cheeky Dortmund away win.
I think that'll be a draw.
Benfica Qarabag. Now, I could see this as a bit of a banana skin. Benfica aren't that strong, but I think they'll still win it.
Yeah, I got to remember, Qarabag are travelling a long way for every away game, so for me, it's got to be a Benfica win.
Tottenham have got to beat Villarreal for me. They've got to beat Villarreal.
They've got to start well. I agree. I think they'll win that one.
Slavia Prague against Bodo Glimt. Weirdly, the two dark horses. I'll go with a draw, actually, after saying that. I'll keep it with the
I'm going to go with Bodo. I like your shout of Bodo as a dark horse. I did consider them. I think they've got a chance of making the playoff round.
Yeah, Bodo Glimt are definitely an option as a dark horse. I think, given how much they did stretch Tottenham last year.
Yeah, Europa League semi-finalists.
Europa League semi-finalists, like you said. I think that's a solid shout. To be fair, Olympiacos v Paphos. That's quite a long way from here for both sides actually. I think Olympiacos win that.
Yeah, I imagine Paphos aren't great, so I'll go Olympiacos.
Bayern versus Chelsea now. Chelsea won the Club World Cup, but I still think Bayern at the Allianz beat them.
Yeah, they didn't look great on Saturday, Chelsea against Brentford, so I'm going to go with Bayern Munich to win that one.
PSG to beat Atalanta.
Yeah, can't see any other outcome in that one.
It's Liverpool against Atletico first game. They've got Real Madrid as well,
Tricky game.
Yeah, tricky game. Yeah. I think it's a draw,
Yeah, Atletico haven't started the season well at all, so I think Liverpool will just about edge this one. But, I mean, if Simeone gets his tactics right, there's every chance they'll frustrate slot enough.
Ajax versus Inter. I think Inter will just be boring and it'll be a 0-0, that one.
I'm going to go Rogan. I'm going to say Ajax to win that one. I think Inter haven't started the season great either, so I think, Ajax win that one.
Copenhagen against Leverkusen. I think Leverkusen will edge that one.
Yeah, I'll go the same.
Club Bruges, Monaco. I'll go draw.
I'll agree with draw on that one.
City to beat Napoli. I think we'll beat Napoli. We'll come on to, obviously, our bit wider predictions for that game, but I think City get the job done there.
I think it's going to be a draw on Thursday night.
Newcastle, Barca, like you said, it'll be a huge atmosphere. They're well up for it, but I think Barcelona will just get the better of them.
I think it's very possible, but I'm going to go with St James's Park to snatch Newcastle a point.
Frankfurt, Galatasaray. I think the home side win that one.
Yeah, I agree.
And then same again for Sporting against Kairat Almaty, who somehow knocked Celtic out of the competition. So, Alex, moving on from our little predictions for the Champions League, City have a big game on Thursday against Napoli. That's actually our pot 3 team at home, which is very unlucky if you look at some of the other pot 3 teams we could have played against. It's not the nicest game, is it?
No, not at all. As you said, it's not a great draw, but I think what we both said earlier, our draw's not too bad, but I think this is the one that you maybe complain about. See, Madrid's not nice either, but pot 1, you're bound to get a difficult team. But Napoli in pot 3 really is quite tricky. We've not played them since 2017-18 when they had Sarri. Obviously, Aguero scored in the away leg and broke the goal scoring record for us. But it's a tricky game. It's going to be a difficult one. I just said obviously it's going to be a draw. You think we're going to win, but it's going to be a close game regardless.
Yeah, Napoli have had a great start. I mean, you look at KDB's record so far, it seemed like it was guaranteed he was going to end up playing and scoring against, as everyone said. He'll get an unbelievable reception, arguably our greatest ever player, as we've said, returning home to the Etihad. By the way, it's absolutely hammering down. It seems like every time I record this podcast, the rain in Manchester just seems to be furious. So, I don't know what's going on. It might be picking up on the podcast audio. Apologies if it is, but maybe the gods aren't happy. KDB left. Yeah, predictions for the game, Alex. How do you think it'll go, mate?
I think it'll be a boring game. I think it'll be similar to our first match day last year against Inter Milan. I'm going to say it's going to be 1-1 and Kev De Bruyne is going to score a goal.
Okay, I'm going to go 2-0 City. I think Napoli will have chances, and I'm actually going to say KDB hits the woodwork. I think he gets close to scoring, but he doesn't score, and I think we'll get the job done 2-0. It might not be that convincing, but we need another win. Get a little winning streak going. Stay unbeaten away at Arsenal, and obviously we'll come on to that game on the next podcast. But little team lineup prediction, Alex. I think there will be rotation here, and I want to see how you think it will go.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's a goalkeeper dilemma because James Trafford deserves minutes, but I mean, I'm already swayed on Donnarumma. The guy is an absolute joke. He is absolutely massive.
I'm very much in your boat in the sense that Donnarumma was unbelievable, but I think we're in kind of a new era of football a little bit in the sense that for some Champions League games, I think you could actually see like quite heavy rotation because we've got 8 games. As much as Napoli are good, I think we'll have enough to not lose the game. And as much as you don't really want to, you're going to have an eye on Sunday against Arsenal. It's a massive game early in the season. I think, anyway, I'm not too sure. I think James Trafford will be used in some of the league games and a handful of Champions League games. So I think as much as Donnarumma was unbelievable, I think Donnarumma will play against Arsenal, which means I could see James Trafford playing against Napoli in the same way we might have seen Ortega sitting there for the odd game. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, I do completely get that. And I actually agree that James Trafford will play some Champions League phase games. He will feature a little bit in the league. I just think because Napoli are probably our hardest home game, I think probably not this one. I think James Trafford will definitely play against Huddersfield next week. And I wouldn't be surprised
away,
to see
that kind of game.
The likes of
Trafford.
Bodo against Monaco. But in a game like Napoli where Pep will be saying these are the Italian champions, Donnarumma's proven he's won PSG Champions League basically. So I think we'll be Donnarumma, but I think we can agree to disagree on that one, I guess.
Yeah, no, we'll stick Donnarumma in goal. Left back, who do you think's left back?
Again, it's a difficult one. We've got no Nori available. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nathan Ake at left back. I think you're right, there will be rotation in the team. He didn't feature on Sunday. I would probably guess he won't feature against Arsenal either. But he's also a very reliable option. So I reckon Nathan Ake will play at left back.
Nathan Ake, I can agree with. The 2 centre-backs.
This one's very difficult. I mean, again, we don't know completely how fit John Stones is, which I guess does slightly impact things. I'm honestly lost. I think Gvardiol will definitely play, but who plays alongside him, I've got no idea.
Yeah, I reckon it could just be Gvardiol Diaz.
Yeah.
Could be Gvardiol Diaz. Right back, I think Rico Lewis. This is the thing, I could see Rico Lewis and Mateus Nunes playing in this game. Rico Lewis, for me, some of his best performances for City were a couple of seasons ago in the Champions League. He got man of the match a couple of times. I could see maybe Nunes playing right back with Rico Lewis in midfield. I just can see this being quite a rotated game. Don't know what you feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rogue shout, but it's not...
Don't think it's horrendous.
Unseeable, yeah.
Exactly. We've got to rotate. We've got to rest players. I think the way Rodri and Reinders played, I don't know if they need that many more minutes before the Arsenal game. I could see both of them rested. And here's how I see things. I think it could be Nunes at right back and Rico in midfield with maybe Nico and Bernardo or Nico and Foden.
I think Nico will definitely play. I can't see him playing Rodri 3 times in the space of a week. I like the shout of Rico, especially given the injuries as well. I'm not sure we'll see Bernardo because he's played quite a lot recently. Maybe I can actually,
Or is Foden in there again?
Given he's not fully fit, it's my thinking.
Yeah.
It's such a difficult one.
Yeah, I think. Why don't we just go with Nico, Rico, or could we see Nico O'Reilly in midfield? Even though we've got the fitness problems, we do have a lot of options still. Why don't we go with Rico, Nico, and Foden?
Yeah, go on then. We'll go with that as our midfield three.
And then, like you said, Bernardo gets a rest. Obviously, he was playing on the right wing against United. Savinho, Haaland and Oscar Bob. Is that how you see things going on the front three?
I think that makes the most sense. I think Oscar Bob not getting any minutes on Sunday he got a few right at the end, but basically none. It was disappointing, but I think that means he's almost guaranteed to play on Thursday. Savinho's got to play. He's not really played at all this season, so he needs minutes in his legs, and he's a good option to have on the left-hand side. And we've got no alternative to Haaland, and I don't see him giving him any rest. So, yeah, I think that'll be the front three.
Yeah, I agree, mate. It's. I think that's a good team, and like I said, I just don't want to lose against Napoli. I wouldn't take a point. That's probably a silly way of putting it. At the end of the day, we're at home in the Champions League against a pot 3 side. But it's weird, you don't actually gain any advantage from the pots. The pots are purely just to categorise teams nowadays. You used to get a bit of an advantage. Obviously, if you're the pot 1 side in a group, you'd have a pot 2, 3 and 4 team beneath you that you'd be expected to beat. So it is a weird one, but Napoli at home, there's a few storylines going on that we can expect. Let's just hope we get the job done. I'm going to go for City to win that one 2-0. I am going to go for City to win that one 2-0.
Yeah, I'm sticking to 1-1. Kev De Bruyne to score. Haaland probably bags for us. But like you said, a point's not catastrophic. I think these are our hardest home game. I think this is our second hardest game, bar Madrid away. So a point's not the end of the world, but we cannot afford to lose.
Right, moving on to some community questions. We've thrown these in at the end of the episode. We'll probably have a few more in the next episode as well that comes out on Friday. But that's when we'll do the quiz as well. We're doing a little break on the quiz just because we've got 2 episodes this week. Make sure if you're on YouTube, please head over to Spotify, drop us a follow. It would really help us. We've got about 500 followers on there. Obviously, the YouTube subscribers are going well and we're getting a lot of interactions and stuff in the comments. So we're loving that. Leave a comment with your thoughts on the team. Leave a comment with your thought on the derby. Just let us know what you think. I've got a few questions here from the Twitter at MCFC Lads Pod. Theo's asked, Bernardo new contract, yes or no, Alex?
For me, it's probably a no, I'm not going to lie. He's been a great servant to the club. He's been a great player, one of the best players of the Pep era. He's still got something to offer, but I think when his contract ends, I don't know if it's this year or next year, but I think it's probably time to part ways and start to move on to the new guy at that point.
Santi Munez says, can Cherki and Foden start on the same pitch? I think they can, but I think it involves Foden probably being out wide.
Yeah, Foden or Cherki out wide. And maybe there's an alternative if you play a really bad team that's literally just going to sit 10 men behind the ball like a Burnley or someone at home, then maybe you can have both of them because you won't need as much defensively. But yeah, I think it probably involves one of them going out wide. Treble Winners
2023, says, is the new right back situation solved? Is Cousinov there? Graham said the same thing. Dan said the same thing. Carlos has said the same thing. So a lot of questions about Cousinov. Cousinov is an unbelievable player. He's electric. He's got the pace. He's got the aggression. He's got everything I want from a centre-back, but also in right-back against Manchester United, I thought he was unbelievable. I actually thought in that loss against Brighton, he was good. We saw him last year taking on the likes of Vinicius Junior He played well against Liverpool as well. Both losses, fair enough, but individually, I thought he played very well, and I think at right-back, he could definitely be a very, very good option.
Yeah, I think for this season, I think he's definitely a very good option at right back. But I would still like to see a sign of right back in the summer. I think Kusanov will have his best games for City over his City career at centre back, and I think if we have him alongside a great right back, then that's only going to make our squad look even better and defensively make us look a lot stronger. But I think he looked excellent against United, and I thought he was good against Brighton as well. And for this season, he's definitely a great option at right back.
Gary's asked, when it's a derby game or any game, should players be high-fiving, hugging the opposition, whether they are fellow countrymen or not? They should be ready for war on the pitch. I kind of agree. I understand that these guys, know each other very well, but I think just maybe respect the fixture a little bit more on some occasions. If we're playing Brighton or someone, as much as we have lost that game and we want to win, I think that might be we can kind of let it slide. But in a Manchester derby, I don't want to be seeing high fives and hugs. I'm not a fan of it personally.
Yeah, I agree. Need to get rid of that kind of thing. Like you say, accept that they're friends and stuff, but when you're on show, when you're on derby day, just leave it out. Carl,
this is the final question we'll go for. Nico O'Reilly, do you think he's a future star of Man City? Came through the City Academy, meaning he's a top player. He's 6'4". What a target man to have for offensive and man market opportunities. brings great physicality to our team, and only 20. I mean, he's very young still. I think he's a great player. He's got the diversity to play left back, midfield, and like he said, on them corners and stuff, he's a real threat. I think he's a great player.
Yeah, a long way to go for him to sort of be a star of City, but he's definitely an important squad player at the moment. And as you said, he's young, so a long way to go. And it's more than possible that in 7-8 years he will be a key figure in the squad.
Yeah, I think starting a Manchester derby and playing so well, I thought, at left back, O'Reilly did really, really well. So yeah, I'd love to see him, in and around the team. There's a reason we potentially offer him a new contract. I don't think that's happened yet, but I'd love to see him sign a new deal. There's interest from Germany, I believe, elsewhere in the Premier League, and we've kept him. So I do hope we keep our, hands on him. I think he'll be a good part of the squad for sure this season. Starting a derby is no... You can't understate that at all. You cannot understate that at all. Well, the rain is powering down here, Alex, and I think we've pretty much come to an end, mate, of this podcast.
We have, yeah. It's big week ahead.
Big week ahead, like you said. Napoli on Thursday. Leave your thoughts how you think that game will go. Leave your thoughts generally on how you're feeling about the team, who you think should play, Napoli's opposition. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, obviously follow on Spotify, and leave a community question as well, because we'll be answering them on Friday, actually, ahead of the Arsenal game. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.